go. There are certain rules how the world works and certain ways we have been doing things all our life. And then there are alternative perspectives. At Spill the Tea, we spill those alternatives or unconventional ideas. Hello, everyone. This is your host, PB, from Spill the Tea Studios, along with Keisha. Hey, Keisha.
Hi, Vivi. Hi, Vivi. It's been a while since I co-host with you. Excited to be finally reunited with a
Yeah.
special guest.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. First of all, I hope all of our listeners and everyone out there are doing well, staying healthy and positive. And talking about positivity, and since you asked us as our guest, we have an unconventional journey to be discussed today. And for that, we have with us Miss Lisa Teo. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Bibi. Hi, Keisha. Thanks so much for having me on your podcast. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's an honor. It's an honor, Lisa. I mean, uh, uh, now before I pass the mic to you for self introduction, let me do a bit of introduction about you myself because it's been an absolute pleasure knowing you. Uh,
Sure.
so, my friends, Lisa is a lawyer turned artist based in Malaysia. Yes, you got it right. That's something unconventional. Well, when it comes to art, her specialty is creating oil paintings on nature, particularly of the paddy fields in Malaysia. Her style is influenced by the post Impressionist. I'm going to ask you, Lisa, what that means. She merges Western art techniques with Eastern Feng Shui elements in her paintings. The paddy fields are a metaphor for the cycle of life where she explores various themes relevant to a person's life journey. I mean, there are so many interesting things in there. So, Lisa, over to you. Why don't you introduce yourself and give us a background about your passion for art and other things in life?
Okay, sure. Thanks, Bibi. Yeah, so I'm, as you said, a lawyer turned artist based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Yeah, I started off my, well, actually, I had always intended to pursue fine art. But I think maybe some of your listeners might know, coming from an Asian family, art, music, drama, sports is not really something encouraged by parents. I mean, I can understand their worry about instability of income and all that.
Yeah.
So when I expressed my interest, I wanted to pursue fine art. It wasn't really something they had planned for me. So I ended up pursuing a double degree in the University of Melbourne. I did a Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Law. Yeah, majoring in accounting. Yeah, so I did that for 5 years. During my degree, I realized I actually prefer law over accounting. So when I came back to Malaysia, I practiced as a lawyer. Yeah, approximately 5 years. Started off as in a law firm. Screen & Co. It's one of the law firms in Kuala Lumpur. And then I moved to other law firms. My last legal job was actually as legal compliance and company secretary of OCBC Bank here in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, and then after that, I also ran a restaurant for 2 years, as well as attempted conference producing, organizing business conferences. So I met people from different industry in all these different industries I was in. And finally, I had 2 children. I got married. I had 2 children, and I decided to look after them for a couple of years. Because I wanted to have a stronger bond with my children. So I quit my legal job and just took care of them. And as they got older, I had more time on my hands. So I was like, okay, this is a good time to actually pursue my interest in art again. So I learned different techniques from different specialist teachers, like watercolor specialist teachers, acrylic, oil, charcoal. And after that, I joined group exhibitions with different artists. And it was during these group exhibitions that I started selling my paintings. And I thought to myself, hey, maybe I can do this as a career. Yeah, so that's how I ended up coming full circle and becoming an artist after all. So now this is my full-time job. I'm actually a full-time artist. I create and sell paintings, not only my own inspiration. I also do commission work for clients who want a specific painting that meets their requirements. Yeah, so that's my journey.
All
It's
right.
incredible.
Wow.
It's going to be artistic disclosure, Kita, over to you.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. From that transition, the story from your transition, from studying double degree, which is irrelevant with art, and coming from an Asian background family, I also understand, the perception towards studying art itself is still unconventional per se. So it's really interesting. And then after that, you even went to food industry, event management. So it's a pretty diverse background, I must say.
Yes.
And that also is reflected into your artwork as well. It's pretty diverse. I mean, of course, BB introduced saying that you focus on landscape painting, and
Mhm.
landscape painting is considered, one of they say China's greatest contributions to the art world, and it reached such important as a genre thanks to the Chinese Taoist tradition, they say. And starting from the Han Dynasty, landscape paintings show scenes of hunting, farming, and animals, and even emperors on horseback traveling through mountains, and many more. So I'm curious, what motivated you to choose the natural landscape and recreate them through your works?
Oh, okay. All right. I would have to say thanks to my parents actually, because they have a love for nature. So since we were young, they had actually exposed us to all kinds of nature. I was quite blessed because my mom was working with Malaysian Airlines. So she had really good travel perks for the whole family. So since
wow.
young, my parents have brought us to like different countries and experience different natural experiences. For example, like I can still recall when I was very young, like maybe 12, 13, I was in New Zealand. We did like a camper van trip. And then, we were in the middle of nowhere in South New Zealand, and there were no city lights and all that. And that was one night, that was when I actually saw the full galaxy. And I was like, wow, really blown over. So these are like little memories that really made me really captivated with nature. Yeah, they brought us to like the Kruger National Park in South Africa to see the animals there, and like Niagara Falls and all that. So in Malaysia, we went quite a number of times to the beaches, especially Port Dickson, because that's where Malaysia Airlines had a bungalow there for staff to use. So I think almost every month we were, playing at the beach in Port Dickson, and our parents brought us to the parks and all to enjoy nature, fresh air. So I think it's that influence that really made me appreciate nature, and I feel we can learn a lot from nature. For example, like the paddy field paintings. Actually, my background is one of my paintings. Yeah, so even just paddy fields, there's so much to learn from it. Like learning about patience, persistent, hard work, because it takes quite a number of months to actually plant the paddy, to nurture it, to harvest it until it gets to our table as rice. So these are like life lessons we can actually learn just from observing nature. Yeah.
Oh wow! I mean,
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. Not only you have a diverse, working experience, but also you get to travel at such a young age. That's why you have this deep appreciation towards nature. And I think that camper van story, I think that was every kid's dream, to be honest. Like to spend a holiday like that. Oh my god,
it's really fun. I've only done it twice, and only in New Zealand. So I'd love to do it again, like elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, only twice. I've never done it. I'm so jealous.
I hear it's really good in Korea, in South Africa. I hear it's quite a popular activity. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll definitely check it out. Check it out. But probably the first one that I will do after this whole pandemic. So, like going back to our discussion with your diverse background and also your diverse childhood because of traveling as well, I saw a lot of your works from your website, and there are many varieties. My favorite one, I can't choose one. Maybe it's tulips or fishing boat. It's really, really cool. So I wanna. I wanted to know, so what are the other art forms you get commission for? Like figurative, abstract, maybe you can share a bit?
Okay. So you mentioned just now the fishing boats. That's one
Yeah.
of my cubism pieces, actually. So cubism is one of the art movements popularized by Picasso. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it's using geometric forms and different perspectives to actually represent subject matter. So the fishing boats is actually cubism. A cubism painting of the Sekinchan fishing village. Yeah. So I do portraits, for example. Yeah, portraits in cubism. I've done one for an Italian family. So basically, I incorporate the individual family members' interests. The father loves biking, so I actually did him as a biker with a bike, and I did the mom. The mom loves art, so I incorporated some art in there, and the son loves football. So these are some of the commission works I've done. I've also done abstract work for a young couple in Penang. They've just moved into their new home, so I had like a Zoom discussion with them to understand what they want, and what are their interests, where they've been, what do they like. And from there, I actually conceptualized an abstract piece from them called Spring Garden. It's actually three flowers dancing in a spring garden. So the dance represent the union, the two of them, because it takes like two people, teamwork to actually to dance well. Yeah. And then the spring represents their new love, because spring is always a new season. So the spring flowers actually represent them. And I put three flowers in there. So the three flowers represent their future family, as well as number 3 is actually a very auspicious number for Chinese people. It actually represents life. So for my commercial work, if they allow me the freedom to, I'll actually incorporate their personalities and their interests into my work, so that it's something special and unique for them.
All right, that's such a cool. It kind of gives us the thought process when you go through a commission artwork, because you incorporate personalities and culture. So and just to let you know, BB has an interesting art background, a little bit interesting art background. So I'm gonna pass it over to you, BB, for the more artistic discussions.
I was going to ask this question to Lisa, whether she has a story to tell behind her creations, and you just answered it, whether it's fishing boat or doing a work for a family in Penang or Italian family. I mean, your artworks always revolves around a story to tell. Now, thank you, Kesha, for mentioning that. I started my career. I'm a salesperson and a sales coach right now. However, I started my career 12 years back as an art consultant. Now,
It's interesting.
It is interesting. However, you know what? When I, that was a campus placement, and I didn't knew what I have to sell, and I just entered the office for the first time, and I saw that I have to sell artworks, paintings, and murals. Okay. Now,
Wow.
I work with a lot of artists. Budding artists or established artists, mostly into various type of works, just like you, and everybody had a story to tell. Now let me twist the question, because you had already answered it. My question is, and that's very interesting. Now, do you feel that your commerce, your law degree, and your restaurant business, whatever you did before being a full-time artist, got lost in those paddy fields somewhere?
Yeah, sorry, what was the question?
I'm saying, do you feel that your law degree, your commerce degree, and everything that you did at the beginning of your career got lost in those paddy fields, got lost in your artworks, and you just completely forgot about those? Did it happen that way?
completely forgot about my previous experiences.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say every experience I had shaped me to become who I am today. So I
Wow.
really feel if I had pursued fine art as a degree, I
Hmm.
think I would be a very different artist from what I am today.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think every experience would shape us in some ways. So I've no regrets about how my life had turned out. I think the law degree, the accounting background, and all, they serve a different purpose in my
Yeah.
life. For example, art is a business like any other business. So whatever I've learned in running a business, or in accounting, accounts, tax, even legal issues, they're all very relevant, even for artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the conference organizing experience, I actually met different people from different industries. So I learned a lot from different perspectives and all that, which I feel also helped me in producing art, to actually understand where different people come from, what are their um, different perspectives, different
Yeah.
culture, and that thing
Exactly.
informs my art as well, to be able to understand um, what people want, and to understand different inspiration that appeal to different people.
Fantastic. I mean, thank you for that answer. Now, you know, I will say, recently I saw your Instagram stories, and one dealer named South Art Dealer, they are running a campaign where they kind of showcase female artists. I think that was their campaign, and uh, basically it spoke about women in art. So tell us more about it. I mean, and what is the emphasis of gender in the world of art? How do you see that? I mean, I just wanted to know your perspective.
Oh, okay. All right. So this particular South Art dealer, they actually found me on LinkedIn. I've been quite
Oh,
active on
okay.
LinkedIn since last year. So I have to thank COVID for it, actually, to kind of push me into social media. Yeah. So it's actually a art dealer based in New York. So they saw my work and they invited me to join their exhibition. It's only female artists who are on LinkedIn, and it's in response to feedback from many female artists that they do not get as much exposure as male artists. That I'm not sure, because I don't feel it, but that is the feedback that I got from the art gallery, and that's why they decided to hold an exhibition just for female artists who are active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I got roped in, and I'm quite excited about that. I haven't created my piece yet, so I'm still sort of thinking about that. Yeah, in terms of women in art, male and female are very different in thinking. I'm sure you agree with me. Yeah. So and then we play different roles in society. As females, we are mothers, we are wives, and then we have to juggle like work, household, and all that. So I would say it's important to have a female voice in art, because we represent a different perspective. And the yin and yang concept, you need to have both, like, to be in equilibrium. So I think it's important to have the female voice as well in the art world. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence, because I don't think that way. But in our last, I forgot which episode, but we interviewed a artist, now also doing digital artist, named Sukriti. People can go and listen to her podcast as well. She's also a female artist, and she established her business right now. So I just as you say, you don't feel that way. Even I don't know if I feel that way, but I think there's world of opportunities out there for both male and female. However, I do respect the thought which came from anybody, that male artist gets more opportunities that female may so happen in certain fields, but then you guys are the change agents. You guys are
Yeah.
changing that perspective. So kudos to you, Lisa. I have a following question actually. Before I know Keisha is very excited to ask her question, but I have a following question. Now, you mentioned about going on digital, and the Southern art dealer, they found you on LinkedIn. I found you on LinkedIn. That's my disclosure. Okay.
Okay.
So my question is, what made you go the digital way? Why did you, because it's again very unconventional for an artist to use digital platforms, and that too, something like LinkedIn, to share art. And one thing which I should say, just to elaborate, when I see your LinkedIn post, it's not about your artworks, it's not about promoting your paintings or your exhibitions. I do see you talking about various topics, diverse topics, exchanging your views on various topics. So my question is, what made you go on LinkedIn and Instagram and be digitally savvy?
Okay, I would have to say thanks to COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because of COVID, especially last year when it was a total lockdown in Malaysia for 3 months, I think a lot of people felt the same way I did, like very closed off from the world, and it pushed a lot of businesses online. So likewise, I found myself, well, it was actually my daughter. She's actually 17 this year. So last year she was 16. So she actually helped me because she's very much on Instagram and all the other social media. So she actually helped me to choose the right photos, the right filters, to make it Instagram worthy and all that. And helped me to set up my social media online. So then subsequently I realized, I think it's a great platform to get more exposure, not just local but international as well. I think every business is on social media nowadays, and it was a friend who introduced me to be on LinkedIn because she felt with my law and art background, well, law is considered like one of the professions, so she felt LinkedIn perhaps because it's mainly professionals would be something suitable for me. So I started posting about my journey, about my story, and I'm quite pleased that people like my work and they found me, and like yourself invited me to talk about my work and all that. So I feel it's a great way to get exposure and also to build my network and exchange ideas and also get feedback on my art. I've been getting really interesting feedback on my art, feedback that I myself did not realize, but when they pointed it out, I was like, this does explain my journey. So I feel it's like a learning from each other. So I really appreciate all the feedback I've been getting from my connections or people who have replied in the comments.
And I'll tell it, you are actually doing it right, Lisa. I mean, I teach social selling to my sellers, and I can tell you that I can bet that you are doing it in the right way. So you're on right
okay.
track.
Thank
Kudos.
you.
Approved by BB.
Back to you, Keisha.
All right. Well, it's interesting, to hear your discussion, BB, because you also did art consultation, and then at the end, also, you guys discuss about how at the end it's aligned with your current job as well. And so back to Lisa, I wanted to ask more about your routine because, I have a 9 to 6 job and it's pretty straightforward. I wake up, exercise, and start working, and then dinner, and then repeat again. So how does a day looks like for Lisa as an artist? I mean, because you mentioned that you're a mother as well. So do you get inspiration at night and then do your art at night and do the normal activities at the day, or how is the routine for you, like your daily routine?
Okay, all right. So I used to have a studio last year, but because of COVID, I closed it. So I pretty much work from home now. So there's pros and cons to it because I have to manage my time really well. Otherwise, time will just fly by and I don't get anything done. So during lockdown, now it's lockdown. So I would say my typical day starts with, I wake up really early. I wake up like 5 a.m. Yeah, sometimes I meditate, sometimes I check my messages, but I usually start my day with coffee and then I bring my dog for a walk. So now it's lockdown, we've only been able to walk around our own neighborhoods. So I've been taking longer and longer walks just to get some fresh air and get out of the house because there's nowhere else to go. So I take long walks with my dog in the morning and I come back, have breakfast. And I find that I'm usually more productive in the mornings. So I usually get my painting done in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So I have a fresh start. I get my painting done. So I've been really busy painting for my new exhibition that's coming up in Singapore in August. So it's occupied most of my mornings. Yeah, some weeks I'm painting every single day, usually in the mornings. And I have my lunch break, and in the afternoons, that's when I schedule my meetings, any online meetings or any talks, like this talk that I'm having with you in the afternoons. And then in the evenings, I'll do my workout. All the gyms have closed and I have no access to hiking. So I've sort of set up a home gym. So I do some workout at home. And then after dinner, will be like reading or watching Netflix with my son, or just generally just catching up on the news and also responding to social media queries as well as comments. Yeah, so it's been pretty much the same. Yeah, so I can't wait till after lockdown, because if it's not lockdown, because life is more interesting.
Definitely.
Holiday.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Or
No,
definitely have meals, friends, check out the restaurants. Yeah, things like that.
yeah. We just
And go
lost.
to the gym.
We, okay. Yeah. We just lost 2 seconds, but I think we got the gist. Something very interesting came up in my mind. Lisa, your day looks totally fun actually.
More productive than you,
Yeah,
obviously, Vivi.
Okay. I agree. But let me give it back. Actually, let me tell you, Kisha, you also were very humble, explaining your day. Wake up and do the same thing and sleep, but actually it's not. Because I know that Kisha, you do go at hunt and farm for unconventional stories when you're not working in your 9 to 6 job, and you find out guests, and probably I do the same. And I think one best thing which happened in the lockdown for us is spill the tea pods, and I'll be completely honest about it. Even after lockdown gets over and we get back to normal, which we sure we will continue this good work, and as inspired as from you, Lisa. So thank you for sharing.
That's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think there's a positive for everyone coming out of COVID.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel. Yeah.
We agree.
Well, that's a good thing. And thank you so much, Elisa, for sharing. It sounds like you're totally 110% morning person then.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like you do painting in the mornings and then you get done in the morning. So it looks like you're really, really morning person, and you get productive easily, just like the start of the day. So I wanted to know more about your painting process as well. Since you do it in the morning and still fresh, give us a bit of insight as to what goes on inside your head during while you're completing a painting that you are commissioned for versus what comes out of your imagination.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So if it's my own paintings, I usually will look to inspiration. Sometimes I get inspiration from traveling. For example, when I visited the Avatar Mountains, the mountains that are featured in the Avatar movie, that's in China, in Zhangjiajie. So when I went there and I saw how amazing it was, immediately I had the inspiration to recreate it in charcoal. So when I come back, I actually produced I think 4 pieces of charcoal painting on the Avatar Mountains. One of which I've actually sold. Yeah, so
Wow.
if it's my own paintings, it will be my own inspiration and my own feelings. Usually there's a story behind it, what I want to convey to viewers. But if it's a commission art, then it's totally different. Commission art is trying to convey my clients' wishes. So usually I would have a very in-depth discussion with them first to understand what they want, why they want the commission painting. And from there, after understanding what they want, that's when I kind of go into their minds and create what I feel is represents their wishes, their goals. So it's a totally different feeling in that sense. One is my own thinking and emotions, and the other one I'm representing someone else.
Interesting. You know what, Lisa? We do the same thing. We ask questions to our customers when they want to buy a software. That why they want to buy a software. I know it might sound very contrasting, but I don't know why it came in mind. Maybe my career as
Your
an
inner
art
sales
consultant,
coach.
yeah, and my sales coach just matched up together. But thanks for bringing that up. That was a great question, Kesha. On that, I was just thinking about this question, and I didn't know about that you do charcoal art as well. So that's pretty interesting. So, Lisa, I mean, what are the other forms of art that you will kind of take up as a challenge in future? Maybe something that you haven't tried yet, but you will
Yes.
consider in future. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many because, like I said, I didn't pursue a fine art degree. So I've only done predominantly watercolor, acrylic, oil, and charcoal, and the basic sketching and all. So, but if I ever had a chance, I would really love to try sculpture.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't
Whoa.
like, let's say, bronze sculpture, things like that. And another one that I'm really interested in, inspired by the ancient Japanese art form, is the wood block print. So basically, it's carving the image on a wood block
Wow.
and then
Oh,
using
yeah.
ink to actually imprint it on paper. Yeah. So when I visit art museums, I've seen really amazing Japanese work on that. So it's something I would love to pick up from like a Japanese master or something like that in future.
I
These
hope
are the
you-
two main ones. And then another one that everyone has been asking me recently is digital art. With the crazy
Yeah.
NFT art and all that. Yeah, everyone's been asking me whether I'm going to do that. So yeah, probably when I get a drawing board or iPad Pro or something, I will look into that.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't worry. After this interview, we should get along more, and I'll help you with some ideas. I have some artist friends who are very established in producing bronze sculptures.
Wow.
I suddenly I remember. We didn't have this conversation before, but suddenly I remember, and I'm going to ping him after this just to say hi. Digital art, yes, as I mentioned, that we already did some episodes on that. And we'll do something in future too, so we'll keep you engaged. Thank you for that answer. Thanks, Lisa.
And of course, when you do a lot of different varieties of art, then you get to learn more, and you also share that from your previous experience, you get these priceless opportunities. So I wanted to ask, do you have a message or advice for everyone, irrespective of their love or understanding for art and paintings itself?
Oh, okay. For me, I feel art plays a really vital role in society. Perhaps it can't be quantified like other industries, but art, music, drama, these are really essential to, I would say, in our human evolution and development, our history. art has played a very important role to, for example, record what's happening in every era. And also art is a form of therapy. It's been proven that when you create art, perhaps it's because you really focus on what you're doing and being in the present moment. It really releases chemicals that help to relax a person, reduce stress. I used to conduct art lessons prior to lockdown, and I have numerous participants who tell me that they feel a lot more relaxed and they really feel really good. It's like a feel-good factor when they create their own paintings. And I feel art is also very good for improving creativity and problem-solving skills, not just in art, not just when you produce art. It also helps in other areas of your life to be more creative, because it stimulates, like, both brains, the left brain and the right brain, and it helps you in solving problems. For example, when you paint something and you find you can't do it, you have to think of ways how to actually solve the problem. And that also translates to other parts of your life. When you encounter problems in your life, it helps you to be more creative, to find solutions on how to help you. So I feel art is really important, whether a person creates it or even just appreciate it. When you look at a painting, if you really study it and try to understand what artist is trying to convey, why did artists create that painting, it also stimulates you to perhaps reflect on yourself. Because, for example, on LinkedIn, I've posted a painting and asked for feedback, how they feel about a particular painting, and everyone comes up with a really unique perspective based on their own experiences, their own background, their own culture. They come up with very interesting answers. So I think art appreciation, just observing art and trying to understand it, helps a person to reflect and on their life.
All right, that sounds, I mean, and you mentioned that you did some workshop as well, and of course it must be an amazing feeling to see that you're helping people to channel, their emotions, experience, to creating new art or something that they've never even done before. So, like, I think last December, Shoops, who is one of our co-host in Spill the Tea, also as a birthday gift, him and our other friend brought me for a pottery class, and it was really, really fun because like what you said, it's like stimulate myself to reflect on my abilities. I mean, like, me doing pottery, I was like, oh my god, I don't think I can do it. But then, him bringing me there and learning with others who are still new to it, it was such a great experience. And of course, it gives you like a self, like that a feeling of achievement, because
yes,
like what I said, like, I thought that I don't have, that artistic skills to do it, or that ability to create something new. So thanks so much for sharing that. And I completely agree with you, because based on my experience, that also applies. And of course, I have to go back to your, I know you just now you name dropped a bit about your upcoming exhibition. So I saw your post online, and then I saw that you were like getting ready with so many artworks for your upcoming exhibition in Singapore. So can you give us some insights and sneak peek about that?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So this gallery also found me on LinkedIn. So I'm really thankful all the exposure I've been getting on LinkedIn. So he saw one of my posts earlier this year and he contacted me. So we had like a Zoom discussion, and he liked my work, and we discussed my journey, my inspiration, like how I've just been doing with you. And so he invited me to exhibit a new series on pediphiles, which I've been working on for the past few months. And yeah, this series would be about my journey for the past 2 years, changes in my personal life. Yeah, I've become single, and so it's about my journey, how I've been feeling and what I've been reflecting on, and how I've come to make changes in my life. So the paintings would reflect that message. And the overall message I would want to convey is that, sometimes there's something you want to do, but you haven't found the courage to do that. But once you've done it, you realize that things are actually okay, or perhaps even better than what you expected. So that's been my journey, and I hope that viewers would see, will appreciate that message, my upcoming exhibition.
Is it going to be a solo one?
Come again?
Is it a solo exhibition?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay.
Wow, congratulations. Oh my
and,
god.
Thank you.
and all the best for your upcoming exhibition. We look
Thank you.
forward. Even since you mentioned, Keisha and I won't be there in Singapore to visit, to be very upfront. But now, when you mentioned digital and your love for LinkedIn, I'm sure we are going to get some virtual updates on that, and we'll look forward to it. Yeah. Well, Lisa, I frankly, I feel that this talk can just go on and on because there is so much interesting thing. And the day when I found you on LinkedIn, and I followed you on Instagram, as I said, what kind of attracted me towards your work is not just your work, but the story behind it. And as I said, we can just go on and on. But if we want to conclude three things from today's discussion, I would see it this way: the first thing being age is not a bar, and we are not going to talk about any of our ages here. But what I mean is that if you really have passion for anything, nothing can stop you. That's the first thing which we take away from today's discussion. The second thing is, 10 years back, my artist community, people who were professionals in fine arts and sculptures, murals and paintings, they always opposed digital. The reason is maybe digital copy and all those, and they never appreciated social or digital. Now things have changed. What I mean to say is not the digital copies of artworks, that's totally wrong, but there should be an understanding of how digital can help a artist, and that is something which you are kind of showing the world, the artist community. So that's the second takeaway. And the third thing is, I just forgot out of excitement, but I will and so I won't beat around the bush. So these are the two takeaways. I hope our listeners will love this. But it was a splendid conversation, Lisa. It was an absolute splendid conversation with you today.
Thank you so much.
Any concluding thoughts from your side?
Okay, fine, Bibi. I'll do the third one then.
Okay.
So of course, what Lisa said, that most of her artwork comes from interpreting her clients' personalities, culture, and then even her own experience as well. And like what she said, it shaped who we are today. And so make sure that you just don't keep that to yourself. Maybe channel it through something new, like what she said, creating art, joining workshops, or like something like I did, doing pottery. So just channel your experience, emotions through doing something new. I think that's maybe something you can do during lockdown as well, since now it's extra restricted lockdown here. So maybe it's something that I should try as well. And for my side, I think we already pick Lisa's brain enough. So I just wrap it up. And for our listeners out there, I hope you learned something new and inspired by Lisa's journey. Make sure you follow our Instagram at Spill the Tea Pods. And Lisa, would you like to share your social media as well? Where can we find you on Instagram, LinkedIn, or even maybe your own website?
Oh, okay. I do have a website, lisatioart.com. On Facebook, it's Lisa Teo Art. And then Instagram, same, Lisa Teo Art. And on LinkedIn, I can be found Lisa Teo.
Yes.
We,
All
we
right.
will
Thank you so
mention we will mention those handles when we release this podcast for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you so much.
for our listeners, we will also tag Lisa on our Instagram so you can follow her. And for all the links that she mentioned, I will attach it to the audio podcast. So make sure you check there in the description. Once again, thank you so much, Lisa. And our listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Goodbye.